Hey there guys, it's Mia here. I am so excited. As always, I'm so excited about this quick message that I know is going to support you. Now, at this time of the year, it is the time when we really start to think about what the goal is and how you might get there. And so today what I'm going to share very simply is how do you reach the $250,000 or more mark in your business as a coach or a consultant. Okay, so how do you get there? What do you need to do? What should you be thinking about right now? So listen up. So I wanted to do this quick training or message for the community because so many of you have watched a lot of my clients, a lot of your peers, other giants, be able to create a product from scratch, from an idea, from a thought, and you've watched those individuals sell those products most on average about $10,000, $15,000 or more, right, per client. And as a result of watching those women do that, you've watched many of those women change their life, change their businesses, be able to change their choices, how they want to live. Some clients have made the decision not to just live here in this region. Maybe they want to live in a different territory, another country. I've had several clients be able to replace their income and relocate because they could now work remotely. You've watched people to be able to change the way that they work, like work not only from the comfort of their homes, right? And so many times being able to hit that $250,000 or more mark in your business, for so many people, it can change so many things. And I do want to say this, that I don't care what you are dealing with in your business, no matter, life is great, right? But life sometimes comes with things. Sometimes problems happen, no matter whether you're successful or whether you're not as successful as you'd like to be. But I can tell you this, that if you are more profitable, you can solve your problems differently. And I say this, I remember years ago, I had a house flood, and one of the things that really benefited my family was the fact that how I was able to care for them, like how I could accommodate and make a time that technically would have been a really difficult time, a really great time, because I could fill in the gaps, all right? So building a great profitable coaching and consulting business can really change things for you. And I don't care where you are right now. It could be that you're in this place where you haven't yet sold anything. Or maybe you don't know what to sell. You know that you are highly valued, your education, your background, your gifts, all of the things you've done to be able to work and to professionally add value in this world. But you know that there's something that you could do on your own. You may be in that place where you haven't really packaged your thing yet. Or you might be in that place where you have packaged something, but it's not either the thing that gets you really excited. It might not be in alignment with who you are right now in your life, maybe 5 years later or 10 years later from the time you started it. Or it might be that it's not selling the way that you would like it to, right? I get that. Or it could be that, what you were selling, that the market shifted and now what was selling needs a tweak, right? Or it could be you listening who you are rocking and rolling, right? You are already very successful. You already have hit huge goals, big numbers, 6 figures and more, as a result of the consulting we've done. And now you see that you are successful, and I know that you're measuring what matters, because that's one of the things that I teach you in Core Purpose. But you're noticing that your numbers aren't where they were. So let's say, if you notice that your growth was, 45% each and every year, you were growing 45% or, 15% each and every year, whatever it looks like. Now you're seeing some slowing going on. Now's the time to get the support that you need. So this is going to be for you, because no matter those scenarios, $250,000 more in business or just starting in your business, for most people, can make all the difference. So what am I going to recommend for you to do? All right. So there are a couple things that I've seen over the years, and I've watched people and watching people like this month, folks that signed up last month for my private consulting. Man, people are just blowing it out the water putting together their structures and monetizing. And this is without websites, without their funnels built, without any of those things, because one of the things that I do really well is show you how to go to market right away. All right. And that is with strategy and not just and only having some website that you hide behind. Does that make sense? All right. Knowing what to say to the customer and having the right packages changes everything. So here's the first thing that I would do. If I wanted to have the biggest year ever, hit $250,000 or more in my business, the first thing I would focus on, and this would be the first thing and the only thing, is, y'all know what I'm going to say, how do I want to live? So to me, that's one of the biggest questions that I get a lot of my clients to think about, every single person. The problem that I see often is that people have come to me, they've built a business they want to escape from. They have a job that is not in direct alignment with how they want to live, or their values, their priorities, their time. And the very most important question, I think, that before you build anything in your business is, how do you want to live? And start thinking about, what does that look like? Quality of life. Who do you want to share time with? What do you want to be doing? And so we build the business from the very beginning around what is most important to you, and that is your life. And that is your priorities, that is your values. That's making sure you have time to see your kids and spend time with your spouse, or whatever it is that you like. It's building the business around what matters most. All right? So that's the first thing that you need to ask yourself if you are getting started, you want to hit $250,000 or more. Because what good is it to build a business and you're making the money, but you're drained because of the model? Does that make sense? Number two, the second thing that I would focus on without question is my package and my packaging. How are you going to take your background, your expertise, your education, your experience? How are you going to put it in a structure that's high value, not something that's you're looking at online and you're seeing what other people who have likeness to what you do or your interest is? Because it really isn't about them. You come with a unique background, gifts, and talents. It's about packaging those things into a high-value product or service, online or offline, right? It's really understanding what is the unique brilliance that you contain, and how might we take and extract the greatest parts of who you are in terms of your ability to create transformation and make that available to others. Simple, all right? The third piece of what I would definitely focus on if I wanted to hit $250,000 or more this year, I would focus on my pricing. I would likely have one, maybe two offers, but likely just one offer. And that one offer would be the only thing that I would focus on, and make sure it was priced right from the very beginning. And this is probably the biggest mistake that I see, where people like to test the market. They like to beta test it and see if anyone will validate that this idea is good. But what you've got to understand is, like, think about your favorite car, for example. If you saw beta tested price for a car that you love, let's say some luxury car that you like, you might be more skeptical to buy it. Even though the price is amazing, even though it has all the features, the bells, the whistles that you love so much, even though it appears to have every single thing you need, you are wondering, when things aren't priced the right way, what is wrong with it? And I promise you that if you want to hit $250,000 or more in your consulting and coaching business this year, being priced well is very important. Now, I do want to speak to this idea of high ticket, because it is a term that we've heard so much, and it's overused, and in some cases it has diminished adding value or adding transformation. We're not talking about just choosing prices and attaching any price to your coaching or to your consulting. We're really talking about you really understanding the value of the results that you bring and how to price according to those results. See, people don't mind paying more when you can guarantee that, or you're proven in some way that you have an ability or a history or track record or knowledge that's deep to create results. because ultimately your ability to create results is the thing that saves them time and money, and the thing that's costing them their happiness, their joy, and all of that, their freedom, whatever it is that you do, right, at the highest level. So choosing the price isn't just choosing a number that's a high number just because it's trendy. It's really being able to back that up with the expertise that you have and your ability to create results for others. Are we clear? Okay. Number 4. The fourth thing that I know is very important also is positioning yourself. And this is where I think a lot of people go wrong. A lot of times we focus on sounding so much like everybody else that no one can figure out who the real expert is. Okay. But that's really important, that your ideal clients know who you are and what you bring to the table. You've ever seen this? I know you guys have seen this, where sometimes someone is doing something and as their expertise, they claim it. This is their expertise. And, they're doing this one thing, they're in this one lane, and that's what they do, and that's what you know them as. And then, like a couple months later, they're doing this other thing, and they claim that as their expertise, and this is their lane, and these are the results that they bring to the table. Positioning is the opposite of that, doing that. Position is when you understand what it is that you do exceptionally well. You can do it in your sleep. You can do it, it's like the back of your hand, right? The knowledge that you have, the ability to consistently create results are as such that there's no need to change. I say it, I've been in business over 22 years and coaching women, helping them to stand in their value, really understand that the giants that they are, and be comfortable as a highly motivated professional, super talented person, to be comfortable with the giftedness. Because a lot of times when you're really, really talented at what you do, the opposition that you feel in your world are from people who sometimes don't enjoy the mirror that you bring because you know the answer, or you find yourself sometimes doing the work or over delivering, over giving to prove yourself or to be liked by your peers or other folks in your world. And it just is true, right? And it is the plight of many women who are smart and sharp and gifted. I see it all the time. Positioning is understanding, like, what is it that I do really well, and who are the people who benefit most from what I do well, and then I'm only going to play with people my own ambition level and above. And I can tell you for sure that if you decide to market and work with people your own ambition level and above, you're always going to be in the greatest company. If you position yourself that way, the competition becomes irrelevant. Who do I work with? Women. A lot of women of color work with me. A lot of sharp, smart, incredible women, PhDs, JDs, MDs, you name it. And they are women with extra knowledge and expertise. And one of the things that they have wanted is a place where they can use and be all of who they are. They wanted to be fully expressed and felt like muted in a lot of the environments that they're a part of. So a lot of the women that come to me because I create consulting opportunities for them. I advise them on how to be more of who they are and how to find and position themselves in a way that the ideal customer comes to them and they don't have to be on mute. Okay? And because that's what I do, and I can back it up and, work with a group of women for a couple months, and people see the success, more women come forward and create the results. I don't have to hype results. I just have my clients share the stories. And the stories are not stories from 1 year ago or 2 years ago or just 5 years ago. They're ongoing, because when you're really great at what you do, there's an echo, right? That happens over and over again. You operating in your echo is positioning yourself the right way. And I know that for some of you hearing this, you're listening and you're saying, Mia, that's me. That's totally what I need to focus on. And it's what I haven't been focusing on. I understand it. But positioning can change every single thing. It can make the bottleneck in your business, if it's a bottleneck of not having leads or working with people who never have the money or who are avoidant, who don't have the ability to show up, or working with people who have ego problems. They want to prove to you who they are because they haven't fully accepted their brilliance. Great thing about being brilliant and amazing is to be able to get your own ego in check, right? When you get your ego in check, you can learn from other people that know more than you. And yes, you create a significant success, but you don't have to prove who you are to other people in every room that you go to. And I see this a lot with a lot of women who have had to prove that they're great, And so they are in that constant cycle for themselves of trying to prove to everybody that they're great. You know what I mean? Every single thing they're, like proving, look at me, who am I? I say I love to work with women who you're already a giant, and you get to come in a community that recognizes that giant to giant, and that we look at where you can play at the highest and tallest level, and that you're teachable and you're coachable and respectful around what that transformation can look like, and it might be different than what you even thought or how you might get there, right? So the fifth thing that is equally important is knowing how to sell, and how to sell quickly, and how to sell strategically and systematically, which I think a lot of people miss, that they want to sell, but they actually don't know how to sell themselves in a way that they should. Right? And knowing how to do that is the easiest way to get to $250,000 or more this year, knowing what to say, knowing how to handle objections, having a systematic sales process, understanding there are different opportunities between selling to individuals, B2B, or selling to corporations only, or some combination, knowing how to sell from stage, knowing how to sell virtually, knowing how to sell on a sales call, whatever it looks like. And maybe some of you are training a sales team or anything like that, but even knowing what that process could look like for you on rinse and repeat is one of the easiest ways to get to $250,000. And I always say to my clients, look, if you're selling less than 30% of the people that you talk to, then it's the quality of your list. It's likely what you're offering. The transformation isn't forward enough that your ideal clients come forward and know that you're for them. Because let's be clear, if you are as talented as you are, as educated as you are, you've worked all these years, you've got all of this experience, you know that people need what you have because they're always coming to you, then why would you not be closing at least, out of 10 people, 3 or more individuals after having conversations? If you're not, it's probably the offer, and you need to have coaching and mentorship around building something that's really great for you, that positions you differently, and likely it's your sales process. Could be something you're saying, something you're not saying, something you're doing. Could be timing of how you're structuring your systematic sales process. Maybe it's not systematic. Or it's how you are attracting the people to begin with. What are you doing in your marketing? Maybe getting in the right places, in the right rooms, so that the right people who are ready to go. You can't do anything with people who are excited about what you do, but they aren't motivated. Motivated people are people who want results, and they want them right now. Motivated people are people who are not afraid to invest in themselves. And here's the funny thing. During a time where there have been lots of changes recently, but the reality is that even during these changes, there are still a lot of my clients crushing it. And so some people have these belief systems that things are, I'll just wait it out, you know what I mean? I'll pause my coaching and consulting business and wait out, But trust me, there is opportunity for you, just knowing how to package and market what you do. But you gotta be hungry for it and looking for it. We're talking today about how to hit $250,000 or more in your coaching consulting business. And what I've shared with you, just from my heart, not with any notes or anything like that, just from having coached hundreds of women personally, thousands of women have used my systems over the last 20 years. And I've just shared with you what I know will work. And here's the deal. Here's the shift. Here's the opportunity. If you are ready to step into that for yourself, and you know that you need support, then I encourage you, when you listen to this live, reach out to me directly. You can reach out via a DM. You can reach out to us via email at my website. And when you go to my website, there's a form there for a breakthrough session. You could sign up for something like that. And I say, hey, look, only sign up if you're ready, investment-minded ready, and you're ready to rock it out. And meaning you have the belief in yourself that 250 or more is something that you can do and you can deserve, and you're ready to step into that next level of what that looks like for yourself. So I hope that there's something that I've said today, I know that there is, really support you in being the highest and greatest and tallest version of yourself. My only goal with this live is to support my community of smart, sharp, amazing women become highly actionable, and for you to know and see me as a resource for you to be able to change everything. And you got to do the work, right? You've got to be an implementer. You've got to be actionable, because having the talent and not being able to find the time to implement, that's not serious. But if you're in that place and you're like, I'm ready, and I'm ready right now, then I encourage you to reach out, right? So I hope that this supports you in some way, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side. Talk to you soon.